Ayo, keep it tight, review family. I'm Jay Mercer, review guy, and I'm back to bring you another video. So this is one that I feel like was a no-brainer to make because I kind of just wanted to go over my favorite albums thus far in 2018, and this is going to encompass all genres. There's quite a few genres throughout this list, and I'm going to link all of my reviews to these albums in the description below. I'm going to make each one very short so I don't linger too long. And if you want to hear kind of my expanded thoughts on the albums that I'm going to be talking about today, please check the description below and you can find all of the reviews to the albums mentioned in this video. So let's move this right along. I don't want this to be like an hour-long video. So we're starting off with Love Yourself Tear by BTS. So this is my most played album of the year. It's the one that I 100% have played the most. I love all of the music on this album. I think that it really showed that all of the members were in top form, and I'm excited to hear Love Yourself answer when it comes out. Next one is Sophie's album, Oil of Every Pearl's Unsides. Really great experimental electronic album. I like the fact that Sophie's moving forward as an artist and as a person and is really embracing some new styles. The mixing's great as usual. The lyrics are really good, and It's Okay to Cry is one of my most played songs of the year. Next up is Augury's Illusive Golden Age. Really great black and death metal. I think that the Artisan Era does it best. I think that the Artisan Era is great at what they do, and I really enjoyed this album. Look forward to seeing more from the label, more from the band. I went into this knowing that Augury was a capable band, but this one really went above and beyond and proving that they're a really good band, and it's a really good label. Next up is my second favorite album from metal of the year thus far, and that is A Complex of Cages by Barren. Really love how they can mix death metal, progressive metal, technical death metal, and folk metal. I love how folk metal's kind of having a resurgence recently and is being brought into more genres, and it's becoming more fluid. People are using more inspirations from folk music, and I really like that Barren is able to kind of uniquely put in folk music with this very abrasive style to where you have the very melodic passages followed by the very harsh passages, and they kind of blend together. Really thought that this album really hit well. So the most recent album on the list that I have reviewed is Denzel Curry's new album, Taboo. My favorite rap album of the year, probably, or really up there, tied with two other ones that are on this list. Really thought that Taboo was a fantastic album. I think that he drew from a lot of different stylistic origins for this album. I really like how he was mixing in the alternative R&B with the experimental and kind of alternative hip-hop and rap, and I thought that some of the lyrics were very insightful, and overall it wasn't what I really expected to hear from Denzel Curry because I've never really been that into his music, but this one really proved that he's a very capable musician. Next up on my list is Dance Gavin Dance's album Artifical Selection. So I have that somewhere over there. That it's my most played metal album of the year as well as my favorite metal album of the year thus far. Obviously that's subject to change, but I think that this is just a really great all-around album. 14 great tracks, a lot of math rocky, mathcore type of influences on this album. Them embracing just kind of a weird sound to their music, and I like what they did with this album. I like what they are doing, and I love the clean vocals on this album. Obviously, the harsh ones are good, but the clean vocals on this album really stood out as being the ones that really stuck in my mind, got in there like a worm, and just stayed in there. Next up, another rap album that I really enjoy is Kids See Ghost self-titled album, and if you aren't familiar with Kids See Ghost, it is the collaborative effort by Kid Cudi and Kanye West that they released this year. Kanye West being very prolific this year, releasing his own album Yay, releasing this Kids See Ghost album. He had a hand in Pusha T's Daytona album, and Kids See Ghost is really a great rap album because it's bringing in a lot of genres to rap that either have not been done for a while or haven't been done to this extent, such as kind of a psychedelic sound, such as an alternative sound. Also, sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background. She's barking. Hopefully it doesn't come in on the mic, but I think that Kids See Ghost really is a great project, and I'm excited that Kid Cudi and Kanye West have said that they're going to be releasing more music under the name, and I really hope that all the projects turn out as good as this one, because if they can keep up this quality, I can really see them being a contender for some great albums in the future. Next up, we have Ember by Breaking Benjamin. my favorite hard rock release of the year, and amidst a kind of plane of a lot of questionable hard rock releases from bands that are previously very consistent, bands like Five Finger Death Punch, bands like Shinedown, bands like Godsmack. I was not a big fan of a lot of those albums, and if you watch my reviews of those albums, you'll know that I thought they were kind of mediocre, they were passable, but they didn't really stick in my mind, and they were very disappointing releases from bands that I'd previously kind of liked. But Ember is a very consistent release. It's not Dark Before Dawn. I doubt Breaking Benjamin's going to release an album that is as good as Dark Before Dawn, because for me, that's the album that really sticks out to me as being their best, and it's going to be difficult for them to kind of outdo what they have built up with some of those previous classics that really stick in my mind as being their best, Dark Before Dawn being my favorite from them. But Dark of You is actually one of my favorite tracks Breaking Benjamin has ever released, and that's on Ember. And there's some really other like great tracks, Blood, Tourniquet. You have some really great tracks that are kind of catchy, that stick in your mind, and have that hard rock veneer that I enjoyed a lot. Next up is Mournful Congregations, The Incubus of Karma. This is a funeral doom metal release that kind of slid under the radar. Really enjoyed Bell Witch's Mirror Reaper last year, and at the start of the year we got Mournful Congregations, The Incubus of Karma, and I think that this is a really great doom metal release, really great funeral doom metal release, and I think that they did a great job on showing that they really had that sorrowful type of feel down. And considering I believe they were formed in like 1993, they're still doing it in a pretty niche genre that I could have a lot of respect for. Now, the next one is Nothing Nowhere's album, Ruiner. Now, if you have followed the channel for a while, you will know that the outro song for my videos is actually Ruiner by Nothing Nowhere. And this album is another hip-hop rap album, and Kids See Ghosts album, Denzel Curry's album, and this album would be kind of tied for my favorite rap album thus far, because it's hard for me to really pick, because I really enjoyed all of these albums a lot. But Nothing Nowhere's album, really love how he incorporates kind of the acoustic guitar music. I like how he includes the drum music. He kind of has this cloud rap feel that goes above and beyond, and I kind of prefer him than a lot of others. So yeah. Next up is Wolftooth's self-titled album. This is, if I remember correctly, the album review that I did for this album, I labeled it as a hidden gem, and I really do believe that, because I think that Wolftooth has this really great sludge metal-y type of sound. Reminds me a lot of kind of Black Sabbath and some of those earlier bands, and they're kind of bringing back that sludge metal type of low down-tuned, almost Melvin-y type sounding music that I really enjoyed, and I really suggested this. Next up is Unique by the band Poem. So I actually got shared on Poem's Facebook page. They have about 10,000 followers. Really loved this release. Really thought it was a great, phenomenal progressive metal release, progressive rock release. If I remember correctly, these guys are from Greece, and I think that they did a great job of coming through with a very melodic but very heavy at times progressive release that I still go back to a lot. Was a big, big fan of this album, and I thank the band for sharing me on their Facebook page. Next up is Eat the Elephant by A Perfect Circle. A lot of people ragged on this album, but I liked it a lot. The song So Long and Thanks for All the Fish really sticks in my mind. Buying Down the River. So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, it really sticks in because it's about kind of how really like good people have died, and like famous people, and how the world kind of moves on. You get kind of like the best example I can give is the lyric. Now I'm gonna paraphrase this. I'm hoping I get this correct. It's like, now Willy Wonka and Major Tom, Ali and Leia have moved on. Signal the final curtain call in all its atomic pageantry. I think that's the lyric, and it's obviously talking about Gene Wilder, Muhammad Ali, Carrie Fisher, and David Bowie. All great people that passed away semi-recently. And I really connected with this lyric. Maynard, great lyricist, great vocalist. His vocals sound pitch perfect on this album per usual. Really excited for the new Tool album whenever it comes out. Fingers crossed that it could be this year, but I'm really feeling next year or even later, because he has a habit of being a perfectionist and pushing a lot of his projects back. So, next up we have The Sin and Doom Volume 2 by Impending Doom. Christian deathcore band, my favorite deathcore release of the year. Hasn't been as much deathcore to review this year, but Impending Doom really came through with a great album that is able to bring in a lot of people to the fold, and I enjoyed this album a ton. Really thought the vocals were well produced, the mixing was really good, I loved the lyrics on them. Me being a Christian, I connected with the lyrics. I thought the lyrics were very well polished, and overall just a great release. The penultimate album is XXXTentacion's album Question Mark. And by the way, these are in no order specifically. It's not because he tragically died. I just think it's a great album. He had a great career ahead of him. He was trying to clean his act up. And I think that the song like Changes and Sad, I really like how he was experimenting with more singing, more clean parts, more just different sounds than the kind of bass boosted rap he was known for. And I had a lot of respect for that, and it's sad to see him go, but as a final album, unless something is released after, soon or something, I think it's a good way to go out in terms of albums, and I think it'll be one that's listened to a lot. And finally, we have God's Favorite Customer by Father John Misty. Josh Tillman coming back with just a really strong release. Loved his vocals, loved the writing. Pure Comedy is probably still his best album, but God's Favorite Customer really came through with some great tracks. I believe one's called like Mr. Tillman, and it's him like commentating himself being in this hotel, and he's just weird at lyricism, and he's a weird figure in general, but I think he did a great job on this album, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, you can find all these in the description below, and please let me know what your favorite albums of the year are so far, and I might even review one of them if I haven't reviewed one of them so far. So please be sure to let me know in the comment section below. In the end screen, you can find my previous videos as well as the subscribe button, and please consider doing it because it helps me out a lot. Like, comment, subscribe, I'll shout your channel out, consider sharing with your friends, all that good stuff, and I'll talk to you guys next time. But until then, my name is Jay Morris, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.
Oh no, what your mama gonna say when I tell her that I broke no heart? It's just things not the way that they used to be. Oh no, now you crying on the bathroom floor and I guess it's the end. Well, I lost my mind and I lost my